Color from the Radio What Studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Smarter? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability, get a free price quote, and maybe you could have me, at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Oh, you know what I got to first talk about is the wedding that I did last night, Saturday night, as I'm recording this on Sunday, last night. What an amazing wedding. These people were great. You know, it was a long wedding, first of all. I got there at 3 o'clock, all set up, you know, and then it went until way past, just a little past midnight. Not way past midnight, but just a little past midnight. So that's a long wedding. And I get kind of leery because weddings usually 5 hours. 5 hours is about average time for a wedding. But to add that extra couple of hours, I'm always like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I could do this. I just don't know. But it worked out because there were so many great karaoke singers. And once you get the karaoke in the mix, once they start becoming part of the show, oh my goodness, it's amazing. First of all, the wedding was in a garage that was decorated with Harley Davidson stuff and like Route 66 stuff. What a fun setting for a wedding. And it was all, the first part of the show was country music, and people were just having a good time, country love songs. But oh my goodness, I love doing weddings. I love doing weddings, and I love doing weddings with people that are nice people, great people. These folks were fine, down to earth country folk, and I like it. I like it so much, man. It was a good time. It was long, and I felt like, wow, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I could do what was it, more than 8 hours? Officially when I got it all set up, it was about at least 8 hours. But once they got into the groove, oh my goodness. Yeah, the beginning part, typical, you have a ceremony. Chad was the officiant. Oh, what a fantastic officiant. He was off the cuff a lot. He had some stuff written down, but then he added a few interjections. Oh, yeah. Good times. I enjoy doing weddings. So if you have a wedding coming up in Central Arkansas, please invite me. In fact, I already got a good review from one of the people that was there at the wedding on my Keys Dan page. So I'm stoked about that. The Facebook page. Yeah. All right. Weddings. That's and I'm stoked that I have another wedding on next Saturday. So I'm very happy about that. Yeah. I'm excited. Weddings are great. It's a very important part of my repertoire is the weddings. And I know that I have to be spot on, have to be perfect. Oh, one of the highlights was they sang themselves up the aisle. The groom had a microphone while he was standing at the altar, and the bride had a microphone before she got down the aisle, and they sang "Shallow." Yeah, the Lady Gaga a song, and it just so beautiful, so good. I had the words on the screen. They didn't need them. They didn't need them at all. They knew the song front to back. It was so beautiful. As she's walking up the aisle, she's singing, and he's singing to her. I could see the love in their eyes. It was beautiful. I wish them all the love in the world. It's just beautiful. May the honeymoon never end. All right. I'm gushing. I'm gushing about weddings. I enjoy doing weddings. I do. But other than that, I enjoy doing my public shows too. So this week's shows, I will tell you about them. On Thursday night, I'll be at the Cedar Lounge Bar and Grill in Morrilton, Arkansas. That's the video dance party karaoke jam on the party patio. That's from 6 to 10. The Cedar Lounge Bar and Grill. That's my newest public show. They have the restaurant on the inside is family friendly, but then the party patio where I'll be set up doing the karaoke show is over 21. So over 21 for this show. Yeah, good times, and it's just been getting better and better and better week after week after week. I think we're at 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. But then Friday night, I'll be at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. My regular Friday night gig. Always a good time. Always interesting at the Rab. That's the full bar, kitchens open, pool tables, pool tournament on Friday nights. So yeah, and that's from 8 p.m. until 1 in the a.m. So two public shows. And then Saturday night, I've already mentioned I have a wedding. So unless you're invited, you cannot come. Nah, 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 nah. All right. Also, if you'd like to tell your story or hear the stories of others, I encourage you to check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. And if you want to watch me stream online games, of which I'll probably be doing throughout the day, on and off. I have a podcast. I have 2 podcasts scheduled today. How did that happen on a Sunday? I never do that. Well, I hardly ever do that. But these people had some very pressing matters that they wanted to get off their chest. So look for those 2 podcasts coming up. I'll probably post them tonight. The audio versions and the video versions will be posted in the morning, by the morning, because I have to put them on YouTube and it takes a little while to upload. So there. So yeah. I mean, I get busy week, podcasts and the karaoke shows and the wedding. So yeah, good times for Keys Dan. Oh, and you could find me online streaming the games at hashtag Keys Dan Gaming. Now, on with the show. Today on the program, 10 things you need to know today for Sunday, November 8th, 2020. 10 things you need to know today. I know I don't editorialize, but I'm not sure. This first news item is going to be very controversial. All right. But these are the 10 items that get curated for me every morning. Number 1, Biden defeats Trump in presidential election. Multiple networks and news sources, including Fox, CNN, NBC, CBS, ABC, the New York Times, and the Associated Press have projected the Democratic nominee Joe Biden to win the presidential election, setting him up to become the 46th commander-in-chief of the United States. The call comes after they determined his lead in Pennsylvania was insurmountable, giving him 273 electoral votes, 3 more than the necessary 270. A few sources have also called Nevada for the Democratic ticket. Trump is the first incumbent to lose a re-election bid since 1992. Biden could still increase his electoral lead since he's up in Arizona and Georgia, but as things stand, those victories would not be necessary. The Trump campaign is working to mount legal challenges and recounts in multiple states. However, this is according to the New York Times and BBC News. Number 2, Biden and Harris address the nation, pledging to unify Americans. President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris addressed the nation on Saturday night after clinching victory in the race for the White House earlier in the day. Biden and Harris spoke to a crowd of supporters at a drive-in gathering in Wilmington, Delaware. Introducing Biden, Harris said, quote, "America's democracy is not guaranteed. It is only as strong as our willingness to fight for it," end quote. She said Americans delivered a clear message. You chose hope and unity, decency and science, and yes, truth, end quote. Okay, the quote started at delivered. Sorry about that. Little smudge on my screen. She reflected on women activists throughout history, saying, quote, "I stand on their shoulders," end quote. As the first woman vice president, Biden pledged, quote, to be an American who seeks not to divide but unify, quote, end quote. Adding that, quote, "This is the time to heal in America," end quote. This is according to CBS News and the Morning Consult. Number 3, Harris makes history as vice president-elect. Kamala Harris on Saturday became the first woman, as well as the first black person, first Indian American, and first Asian American to be elected to the vice presidency. Harris and her running mate, President-elect Joe Biden, defeated their Republican incumbent opponents, President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence, after most networks determined that they had won Pennsylvania's 20 electoral college votes, pushing them over the 270 necessary to win. After the calls were made, Harris posted a tweet stating that she and Biden, quote, have a lot of work ahead of us. Let's get started, end quote. This is according to NPR and Kamala Harris. Number 4, Biden honored to win presidency while Trump claims election is far from over. President-elect Joe Biden celebrated his victory on Saturday in a statement that said he was, quote, honored and humbled, end quote, to have won the race over President Trump. Quote, in the face of unprecedented obstacles, a record number of Americans voted, end quote, he wrote. Quote, proving once again that democracy beats deep in the heart of America. With the campaigns over, it's time to put the anger and the harsh rhetoric behind us and come together as a nation. It's time for America to unite and to heal, end quote. Trump, meanwhile, claimed the, quote, election is far from over, end quote, as his legal challenges in several states attempt to turn over Biden's wins. Quote, I will not rest until the American people have the honest vote count they deserve and that democracy demands, end quote, Trump said, accusing Biden of, quote, rushing to falsely pose as the winner, end quote. Although there are reports his son-in-law and advisor Jared Kushner has approached him about conceding. This is according to Yahoo News and The Week. Number 5, world leaders react to Biden victory. Several world leaders extended congratulations to President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris on Saturday after they were projected to defeat President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence. German Chancellor Angela Merkel, French President Emmanuel Macron, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga, Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen, and Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison were among those who commended the Democratic nominees on their win, with many of them noting they were looking forward to working with them on the global stage. Russian President Vladimir Putin, Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro, and Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who largely have positive relationships with Trump, have yet to react, while Mexico's President Andrés Manuel López Obrador suggested he would wait until Trump's legal challenges are resolved. This is according to the Associated Press. Number 6, Biden reportedly planning executive orders to reverse major Trump policies. President-elect Joe Biden is prepared to issue a series of executive orders after taking office that would reverse some of President Trump's most noteworthy policies, including his controversial, end quote, quote, Muslim ban, end quote, his crackdown on Dreamers, and his withdrawals from the Paris Climate Accords and the World Health Organization. People familiar with his plans told the Washington Post. Biden's advisors have spent, quote, months quietly working on how to best implement his agenda, with hundreds of transition officials preparing to get to work inside various federal agencies, end quote. The Post writes, quote, they have assembled a book filled with his campaign commitments to help guide their early decisions, end quote. In another display of how stark a contrast Biden plans to draw with Trump, the president-elect plans to announce a robust 12-member coronavirus task force as soon as Monday. This is according to the Washington Post and Axios. Number 7, Myanmar votes in general election. The polls have closed in Myanmar's general election, just the second Democratic vote since military rule ended in the country in 2011. Aung San Suu Kyi's National League for Democracy is widely expected to win re-election, per Al Jazeera and BBC. although international observers have questioned the credibility of the vote because of the disenfranchisement of the Rohingya, an ethnic minority in Myanmar. United Nations investigators have accused Myanmar's military of, quote, genocidal intent, end quote, in a 2017 campaign against the community. Suu Kyi, a Nobel Peace Prize laureate, denies that, but she continues to face widespread international criticism for her handling of the crisis, despite remaining popular at home. The election also comes as Myanmar experiences a COVID-19 resurgence. This is according to BBC and Al Jazeera. Number 8, Berkshire Hathaway reports record stock buyback. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway reported an 82% jump in its third quarter profit Saturday, but the conglomerate said the coronavirus pandemic continues to hurt its assorted businesses. Per MarketWatch, Buffett maintains Berkshire's quarterly performance is better seen through its operating earnings, and those declined by 32%. Berkshire also said it spent a record $9 billion on its own stock, up from the $5.1 billion in the second quarter. But even after the repurchase and a handful of investments made during the third quarter, the company still holds $145.7 billion in cash and short-term investments. This is according to CNBC and MarketWatch. Number 9, Tropical Storm Eta makes landfall in Cuba, headed toward Florida. Tropical Storm Eta has made landfall in Cuba and is expected to head toward South Florida, making its closest approach to the state Sunday night. The storm is reportedly growing closer to hurricane strength and will likely bring flooding rain, strong winds, high surf, and storm surge. Tropical storm warnings are in place for much of Cuba, the northwestern Bahamas, and South Florida. There were reports of wind gusts from 40 to 50 miles per hour across South Florida on Saturday and early Sunday. After making its way to the Sunshine State, Eta is expected to veer west and may meander in the Gulf of Mexico for several days. This is according to the Weather Channel. Number 10, Chappelle returns to host SNL's first post-election episode. Dave Chappelle returned to host the latest episode of Saturday Night Live, about 4 years after he hosted the first episode following President Trump's 2016 victory. The comedian's monologue, which lasted around 16 minutes, focused on a variety of issues the United States has been dealing with, including the presidential election, racial injustice, and the coronavirus pandemic. While it was heavy on the jokes, Chappelle also got serious at times and concluded the set by imploring Americans, despite their political divisions, to, quote, find a way to live your life, forgive each other, end quote, and, quote, find joy in your existence, end quote. This is according to NBC and CNN. That's 10 things you need to know today for Sunday, November 8th, 2020. Thank you so much for listening. This has been What Makes You Smarter. I'm Keys Dan. I'm trying to fill my head with knowledge. Hopefully it's good knowledge. I know there's a lot of controversy going on. I don't usually editorialize these things, but I know that the election is not quite over. Even though there's projections of winners and not winners. I don't like to say losers. But I guess I just said it twice. But no, there's whoever becomes president, I hope that we all get together. Just as Dave Chappelle said, yeah. Can we, find joy in your existence, find a way to live your life, forgive each other. I like those words. I like those words a lot. If you, first off, take care of yourself, make sure that you're healthy and strong, mind and body. And then if you have the opportunity, if you have the means, try to take care of somebody else. Yeah. Take care of each other. Hey, if you have any comments or ideas or any other viewpoints, I encourage you to drop me some comments And if you want, you can call me 501-470-6386 and leave a voicemail, and maybe I'll play it on a future episode of What Makes You Smarter. Also, if you'd like to sit with me for an hour or so, or maybe a little longer, I mean, shoot, I've had some that were more than 3 hours long. If you'd like to have a podcast with me, you can check out What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. And you can use that same number, 501-470-6386, or email info@radiowhat.com, and maybe we'll have a talk, a chat about you. That's right. What's your podcast about? Well, it's about you. What kind of questions you can ask? I don't know. It's about you. I'm just getting to know you. That's usually what my podcasts are. My What Makes You Famous podcast. Also, the newest on my ever increasing aim to fill this internet with me. My content is my gaming. You can find that using the hashtag KeysDanGaming. I'm on Twitch and Facebook Gaming, so you can watch me play some video games. You gonna watch that old man play video games? Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Let me know what I should be playing and how I'm doing it wrong. All right, that's it for me. It's Keys Dan, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out.